Good evening.
And we're back.
Why do we say and we're back? We're just starting.
That's the funny part.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And we're back.
This is Brews and Reviews. We are
Kicking
in
off the Halloween month.
October, which means people are going to be scary at the end of the month. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Going to be scary at the end of the month, so we're watching scary movies.
It is the greatest month of all the months. Better than summer months. Better than Christmas months.
I think did a thing.
Yeah, it just went to sleep. It's fine. We're gonna be watching a different scary movie or horror movie or thriller, whatever you want to call them. A Halloween movie. Yes, we might do some that are a little less scary. We're gonna do a different one each week leading up to Halloween.
Yep.
And we're kicking off tonight with a classic, The Exorcist.
He had this ready. Yeah, this month.
Can you beatbox to this?
I don't really beatbox in front of people. I can play drums too. I can do that. I'll do the actual.
Are you really not gonna do it?
No, I'll do a thing later. We'll upload a thing. I'll play to this. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting for me because I am actually
We're gonna do
a
dance songs.
humongous pussy when it comes to horror movies.
Yeah, you're actually like really worried about this.
No, The Exorcist. I feel like I'll be all right. It's more spooky.
You
than
literally
scary.
told me that you're gonna be doing like this.
No, I said that I do cover my ears when I go
Like-
watch horror movies. But like we also have like gigantic lights on and stuff. So like, I don't know, maybe it'll be fine.
Should we turn the lights off this time when we want? Like
Yes.
go like straight dark as much as we can.
We could do like a dark lit thing.
Can
for
we
the
do like
pre-show?
a like us just candle lit?
We
and
burn
what-
this place down.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. We'll get spooky.
Yeah,
with
so
it.
I don't do well with horror movies, so this is going to be an interesting month. But I also enjoy horror movies. So
Oh,
I don't
we're
really
black and
understand
white.
what
I
the-
see it.
What the fuck? So
We're going
we're
spooky.
scary now. Toss a pumpkin in there with golden. Maybe
We
a
should-
bat.
We'll have to get a pumpkin. No, leave it black and white. I think it's good. I feel like now we're just like setting the stage. We're going back to
Yeah.
the 70s
So
with this. You want to know why this movie is going to be scary?
why? Oh, because this place is haunted.
Also because it could happen. Like if you're one of those people out there who believes in like God and all that stuff, if you're like a religious person,
All those shenanigans.
all that stuff, then no, well, I'm
What?
just saying, I went to a Catholic school. I'm just saying, if you're one of those people, if you
I went to
believe in
one.
that stuff, then you have to believe that like demons and things also are possibly real. So yeah, there could be some repercussions to opening this door.
I feel like through my dumbness, if I wasn't a haunted spot, I would just walk through whatever demon, just like
Yeah.
unknowingly, just blindly walking.
I think
would
we'll
just
save
walk
this
through everything.
conversation for actually like during the podcast because I would like to ask questions like what would you do if you saw a demon, but let's hold off on that one until
Fair.
after. All right, guys, we're gonna
enough
get
of a pre-show.
some booze in us.
Some food.
We're gonna get some food in us, likely sushi.
Probably gonna eat sushi again.
Likely sushi, and we're gonna watch The Exorcist, and then we're gonna be back and tell you all about it.
Yep.
Thank you very much, and have a great night. And we'll see you in a bit. Oh, sorry.
You can do like this. And we're back.
And we're back. All right. Do you think that we should switch it to black and white? Welcome, everybody.
We're back.
Welcome to the show. Thank you all for being here with us
We're
on our Halloween month first episode of Halloween month.
we are doing scary movies this month, with the exception of this one.
With the exception of this one.
Yeah. This one would
So-
scare old ladies who clutch their pearls, but nowadays it's a little tame.
My heavens. See what she did with that cross? Back in
Put it
my
in
day,
her
we didn't do
no-no
those things
place.
with crosses.
Yeah. This movie, we watched The Exorcist, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, I guess we should really
We
learn
should-
how to intro the show. Like,
Yeah.
welcome to
we'll
Brews
get
and
there.
Reviews.
Give us like 6, 7
My
months
name is Pat
to a year,
James.
and we'll be moderate at this.
This is Jeff Coxarelli.
I have adopted an Italian.
Tonight we
Family?
watched the
I don't know.
movie The Exorcist. We drank Coors Light and ate sushi.
Yeah.
And
This show, honestly, is really just an excuse for us to muck a bunch of sushi on Mondays.
seriously,
And we do.
we do it hardcore.
Oh, yeah, it's great. We have an
Really.
order written down on paper. Like it's
Literally,
the
we
early
should post that on
2000s.
our Instagram. Just the standing Monday order.
Yeah.
So you guys may have noticed that we didn't have a pre-show or recap video, and that's because we didn't really feel there was anything worth showing.
Yeah.
Like, we're just being honest.
This month is gonna be like for the pre-show, probably a lot of me jumping and being a little bitch. But like this movie in particular is not quite there. In fact, it's a tiny bit slow. Like it takes a while to get to the Exorcist stuff,
Yeah.
and then it ends. It's like, oh, they did it.
I kind of feel like it was like the equivalent of like the recap of Lord of the Rings from the Kevin Smith movie
Clerks 2.
Clerks 2 when he's like
It's
walking,
a movie about walking.
and then he just drops the ring. And like, oh, okay. Like I love, like first off, I should say, okay, like I love The Exorcist.
I appreciate this movie.
It is The Exorcist. Exorcist 3 specifically is one of my more favorite ones, but I love The Exorcist. I appreciate it for what it is. I've never watched it through the lens of trying to make like a show out of watching it, or like, you know, we're always acutely aware when we're watching a movie that we're also not trying to find, but if we think of something funny to say, you're going to say it because you want it for the reaction.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't usually think of it that way because
Oh,
I'm
no?
so single-minded. I'm just like
It's
movie.
just me who cares
then
about
talking
you,
about it,
people
yeah.
that are viewing.
You care about the people. I
putting
am
on like
the
something
tyrants.
that resembles a good show.
You're all sheep. I don't mean that. I'm sorry. I hate when we fight.
Adrian says it's 40 years old. So am I, and I think I get better with age, but it doesn't.
Yikes.
41.
41.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were strict 40. Dang.
41 as
I
of
think I
Saturday,
get-
and just gonna chime in here for a quick
Oh, yes.
second.
This
to
is Pat's
say
birthday episode, and he
Yeah.
picked a lame movie.
It was Pat's birthday on Saturday. We
Sit and spin.
drank.
Actually, don't. COVID.
What did we
That'd be
do?
weird.
We
Yeah,
drank,
you
we drank
get butt
beers.
COVID.
Yeah, we sat around. We had some beers.
We drank vodka. We drank honey jacks.
I drank
Drank some
whiskey.
tunes.
Oh,
we
yeah,
drank
peach schnapps.
peach schnapps. Yeah.
Peach schnapps is
Shooting peach schnapps
Smoked
like
some
badasses.
weed.
I didn't
Pat
smoke
didn't,
weed.
but
I smoked
Jeff
weed.
did.
I'm trying to get
Drugs
Pat
are
to smoke
bad.
weed and do mushrooms.
Yeah.
I'm just a bad influence
But yeah.
on Pat's life.
Happy birthday, Pat. There's Pat's birthday episode. We're gonna just say that one more time again for him because he hates it so much. Happy birthday, Pat.
Happy birthday,
It was a
Pat.
Saturday, and now today's a Monday, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
But this movie is one of my like more favorite movies. I really enjoyed watching The Exorcist until we watched it for I almost said Tarot and Tunes, for Brews and Reviews, because
We don't speak of tarot.
all of the sudden now I feel like
I'm kidding.
there's so many plot holes that we found watching it, and it was like,
How the fuck did that little stone? Okay, A, was the stone thing the issue? B, how did it get to that house? C, what's the connection from Marin, who found the stone, to sending it to this random family? D, like, I don't know. This list goes on, man. It's like, this movie makes no sense. There's a lot of shit that makes no sense, because that dude left the house. Burke? He was the drunk fuck, I think. He left the house, and then, like, somehow died by being pushed out a window.
do you know the story behind it? No.
We do not know the story.
We don't know
behind
the story behind it. I mean, we actually did do some online. Thank you, Adrian, for the comment or question rather. We don't know the story behind it. We did do some quick research after the movie just to see like
how they got the stone.
yeah, and that's sort of like one of the questions that it doesn't really get answered. Like
We didn't get an answer. At
what
all.
does the beginning 15 minutes of the movie have to do with the rest of the movie? I
Makes
have no
no
idea.
sense. Like he had the rock, but he fell out the window with the rock, and then died, and then the demon was still there and bothering her and
maybe
shit.
that guy had the rock, the first guy that died. It's very
That makes no
confusing.
sense though.
But I mean, other than that, there was some like, obviously like some cool scenes in the movie that were like,
like when it ended.
wow. It's gonna be a short episode if this is your attitude, my friend. No, I mean like I like the parts that were like really like kind of like hit home for me or like kind of freaked me out back in the day though, like yeah, it like freaked me out when like her head twisted around like 180, like, and she's just looking back at him, and I was like, that's freaky shit. Like that's
It's just because it's so ramped up these days that it's not hitting the same. Like back then, like what did you have to contend with 40 years ago? Like fucking.
I don't even know what was out in like.
They
70...
had like those zombie
is
monster
it,
flicks
is it
of like.
I thought that movie
makeup.
might be older than 40 years old.
I'm
I thought
taking
it came out
Adrian's word for it.
I think it came out in 73, and I was 79,
Dang.
so yeah, so it's like 46 years old or something. 40, maybe whatever.
I was born in 93.
Anyway, it's old is what we're saying, but when that movie came out, I remember reading articles and things that that the movie theaters had to have ambulances and stuff like on site because people were having like heart attacks and like physical reactions to watching the movie.
I swear I've heard that about like 5 movies though.
I don't know how much of it is true. I'm seeing a comment down here that the recordings are real, Adrian says.
It's just her temporal lobe. It was
Yeah,
her
that was
temporal
like
lobe all along.
the common thing.
They just needed to shove that needle in her neck so that her blood squirts everywhere down to her knees.
I mean, they never
That's
like
all it
said
was.
in the movie, like, you know, like usually at the beginning or the end somewhere. I think if they did, I might have missed it, but it says like based on true events or something like that. I prefer Exorcist 3. I'm willing to say, I was always willing to say, don't even bother with Exorcist Part 2, the heretic or whatever. Like that was just garbage in my opinion.
She has
like,
psychic powers or something.
it was weird. I don't know. I didn't. Whatever. It just doesn't even matter. I wouldn't even bother with it. But the Exorcist one, I refuse to write it off because
It's not a write-off.
It's
You
a
have to appreciate
classic
it.
movie that you have to appreciate for the time. What makes it kind of freaky or scary, we kind of alluded to in the pre-show, is that, you know, if you believe in spirit, you know, like the God and that kind of thing, like if you're a religious person, like
That old chestnut.
you have to believe in like demons and all that other stuff too, because that's all part and parcel of it, right? You can't have one without the other. So the thing that's kind of freaky about it, coming from like a Roman Catholic background growing up, is like that shit could happen.
You know what freaks me out?
It's more likely that you'll get possessed by a demon than there is ever going to be like a 6'2" monster of a human being that won't die wearing a hockey mask, who also died when he was like 11 and somehow became a grown-ass man killing people. But anyway, I'm just saying, it's more likely you're going to get possessed by a devil or a demon of some kind.
Yeah.
One day.
I mean, I guess. I feel like... I don't know. I feel like there are 6'2", like, hockey mask wearing, machete wielding weirdos.
Well, no, I mean, there might be real guys out there just killing people, just like serial killers. But I'm saying, like, from a supernatural standpoint, from like he's dead and we're gonna dig him up, and then they stick a fucking rod in him, it gets hit by lightning and he comes back to life.
Stick a rod in him.
You never watched Jason Lives? Anyway, we'll get to
Which
that.
one was that? Like
Part
12?
6.
6.
Jason Lives.
A lightning rod, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like the guy pulls a piece of the fence off and he's stabbing him, and then he leaves it in him, and then it gets hit by lightning and he comes back to life.
Who do I challenge? Enfield House, Hugh Lyon, Playfair's research. I watched that other movie that was an exorcism-ish movie about that chick who, like... Is it The Exorcism of Emily Rose, where they have, like, the real tapes and shit?
I think there's real tapes for a lot of them, but I don't know. I think Emily Rose might have been based on true events. That was a... Exorcist movies in general are good. This is literally a hard episode for me. I'm having a bit of crisis of faith here because I used to love this movie so much, and I'm struggling to find, like, valid things that I can tell you that, like, why you should like this movie anymore.
The writing's lazy.
Like, I mean, literally, but
Special effects are
before
okay.
you just, like, kick the shit out of it in the fucking gutter there,
Ah.
I'm just saying, like, I literally would have been like, I love The Exorcist because it could have been real, and, like, it was spooky and, like, whatever. And I've watched it, like, within the last couple years, like almost every Halloween I watch like the same movies over and over. But this was the first time I watched it with this like sort of like looking at it, like really looking, not just watching it to consume it, but like literally like looking at it like, yeah, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense that happened. And then
That's
like,
pretty challenged right now.
Was it at this point that you realized it is actually kind of a shitty movie?
it was not a shitty movie.
I feel like
You're
it is.
holding on to this old belief of just like how great it is. I don't know, man.
You can go ahead and leave your mic on because I have a feeling that we're going to be drawing you back in in a second. You just press that button, leave that mic on.
Adrian, The Conjuring, we are actually contemplating watching next week.
Yeah, The
We were talking
Conjuring-
about that one because Pat talks about this one particular.
The Conjuring
scene.
will definitely like that is
That one will scare me.
yeah.
That
That is a
scare me with
that
the
is a
loud sounds and
current-
shit. Like
I watch
I'll
The
be a bitch for that
Conjuring.
one.
yeah, like I watch Conjuring every year. It's a great movie.
Also,
But- But I'm sorry,
ahead.
but I'm just saying. But
Sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
torn on this movie because I'm literally sitting here going like, yeah, I actually don't know if the movie was actually any good anymore.
Because it wasn't good.
You watched that entire movie. Well, you sat.
so what's the plot?
Yeah, what's the plot?
He's smiling because that is literally checkmate.
Little girl
They're in somewhere, which we googled
Gets
and is Iraq. Then you just
possessed
started
by
that
a
spot.
demon
Because
she played with a Ouija board and made herself
Is that
open and
that's from
susceptible.
that's from the book.
is
That's
that
not
why
the
though?
movie.
They don't explain it in
Exactly.
the movie.
Go by the movie. You can't
But
go by the book.
if you're cultured in these types of movies, you know that Ouija boards are always bad. They're always like a gateway to key to opening something like
It's Ouija, right?
Ouija. I don't know.
Is it
I say
Ouija?
Ouija.
It's Ouija. Yeah.
Ouija.
It's
Okay.
not, it's not Ouija.
Already, I hate Ouija boards because they're pronounced wrong. There's an A at the end of Ouija. Ouija.
I
Should be
don't know.
Ouija board for one. Two, in the book, it's summoned through the Ouija board, which they kind of like make mention to that one time they hold the Ouija board and she talks about Mr. like Knucklesworth, whatever the fuck his name is.
Captain Howdy.
Close
And
enough.
the fucking the thing,
Mr.
the
Knucklesworth.
the
Captain Howdy.
Ouija, the whatever the piece is, shoots across the board. Like there was obviously something already
It
there.
moved once and then it didn't move the next
But it
time.
moved.
It's stupid.
Period. It moved. So there was already
It
something
was the
there.
little girl. I don't know. The whole thing is like it's a little silly.
It jumps around a lot. I get that now watching it, and then like there's a lot of like open-ended questions, like what does one thing have to do with the other, and
Yeah, like
know,
again, the whole thing makes no sense for me because like fucking how the hell did that rock thing that they dug up that was apparently a big deal because it got the entirety of the intro to the movie, how the hell did that get to their house when they didn't know Father
in the
Marin?
very beginning of the movie, Father Marin is in Iraq, and he finds that little thing in the archaeological dig,
stone
a little
thing,
stone
yeah,
of
it
a
was
face of a something,
Which he then finds
Then
the
he finds,
full
like-
life version
like
of
the big
it,
statue
which
of it.
that should be where the demon is. Like it
But
should be
then-
a Marin from there.
But then he comes back to the U.S., I guess, which they don't show you until he shows up to do this exorcism.
Were they in the
He's just-
U.S. or were they in the other fucking place? Like,
No, he
this
was in the-
movies all over the place.
But that's what I'm saying. But then, like, the fact that that stone does show up at the house, and you're like, how did it get there? They don't actually ever say, like, what one thing had to do with the other.
They also never show it in the house. They just show that the drunk friend apparently stole it from the house.
It's called the eye. That's what it was called, the stone. The stone is called the eye.
I don't know, man. The whole thing's kind of dumb. Like, look, Adrienne, I understand of like the whole thing of like that may have happened and shit, but at the same time, I'm just like, none of that goddamn makes sense. Like as per the movie
As per the
itself,
movie.
like listen, demons. I'm sorry if I'm like shitting on your movie and this was like your big break and like it's a big deal, but like I'm sorry, but like unfortunately your movie's kind of shit. And like we're not 40 years ago anymore. We've seen some stuff.
46.
46 47 years ago. It was
47,
47. Yeah. 73 you said.
Yeah.
I was 93.
Yeah.
When were you?
79.
Yikes. But like sorry, I had to take that shot. Yeah, it's just the whole thing is kind of silly. I don't know.
I am witness.
I am a
I am a witness
To the
to
eye.
the eye flying across.
Oh, that's the
the
Ouija
room.
board thing.
There's a Ouija. There's lots of Ouija comments since you've dropped up.
That's
the
a Ouija
Across
board
the
thing?
room.
Yeah, the eye.
And dropping before.
Oh,
hanging.
that's the. I thought the stone in the movie was called the eye. I'm like, you saw the stone from the eye.
Who were you doing it with?
Before hitting the floor. Also, I totally read Anna Lee and Adrian. Like so many
Oh,
people
yeah,
with names. My dyslexia kicks in, and you're.
We got April Humphreys, Ashley Lund, Anna Lee, Adrian.
Can we get some fucking rest of the alphabet in here?
Yeah.
Anybody with a different letter start?
Whose name starts with a Z?
Can we get somebody in here with a Z? With a Z
ZZ
in the
Top joined the chat. We're in Canada.
name?
Don't be pissing off any demons, Cox. Might not be a good idea. Listen. Demons.
Can we go back to? Oh, the
I was
mic
talking
just
to
did
the
some weird
demons.
cracky thing there. No, can I toss comments up on the screen so people know what you're talking about? Because you're reading
No,
them
I'm just gonna
from
randomly
there.
look.
No one knows
They
what you're
know
talking
who we're
about.
responding to.
I'm just
Whoever
like,
asked the question.
Should I can just leave now.
No. This is why I said we did something different today, where we're on the monitor. We can see the comments before they come in, and so there's a delay.
I just want to defend myself a little bit in the sense that,
Yes,
like, listen,
go.
demons. I respect the shit that you do. Like, kind of awesome, to be honest. Like,
We
you possess
respect
people. I
Your
can't
right
possess people.
to be demons.
I just fucking drink and play drums. I don't know. I'm currently, I don't know. I'm pretty decent at Rocket League, but I made Diamond League once. I don't know. We'll not get into that. Anyone who watches Rocket League or plays Rocket League, like, let's hit me up. Well, I'll fucking crush you.
I'm not
But,
14, so I don't know. Continue.
Shut up. Honestly.
Ratings are just going down.
Oh, no. We'll get the nerds in here. We'll have weird discussions.
You've got a comment.
Anyways, I'm not I'm not shitting on you. I'm just shitting on your movie. Sorry, I keep touching your hand. I'm shitting on your movie. Like, your movie sucks, and if anything, you should possess the director because that guy deserves to be possessed. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But
I get what you're
Demons
saying.
cool. Exorcist.
Jenny says,
okay.
"Don't be pissing off any demons. Cox might not be a good idea."
You also asked Annalie a question, so she's responded.
Oh, what'd she say?
Well, I mean, I think like I really like the Exorcist movies, exorcism movies, I should say. Like the last exorcism was good, or the last exorcist, last exorcism, exorcism of Emily Rose. Like there's a slew of exorcism movies that are really good, and I considered The Exorcist obviously to be the grandfather of all those movies.
Yeah, it started.
But it you have to watch it and then suspend. I don't want to say logic because that's like any horror movie. Like you have to let certain things go, but I think you have to suspend like sense, like comments, like just because like it doesn't always make sense now that I go back and look at it. Where I'm like,
Nothing makes sense.
like I've watched that movie a dozen times, and tonight with you in this room in this building was the first time that
ruin
I
this
ever
movie for you?
noticed that I ever caught the part where, you know, Father Damien Karras goes to the hospital to see his mother who had had a fall.
Didn't she die at home though?
But this is the thing. He goes to see her in the hospital. She's in the hospital. He's catching shit from his fucking uncle, who's
Brother.
a dickbag with a bad fucking comb over.
That was brother.
No, that's her brother. It was
Ah.
his uncle. And she's in the hospital, and she's like, Demi, why you do this to me, Demi? And I'm like, oh, it's heartbreaking, because, like, old women make me sad. I don't know. Just old women make me sad when they're like that. And then he leaves, and then the next scene, you find out, like, in passing, like, oh, he's going through a hard time because his mother died at home the other day. Well, wait a minute. First off, she was alive in the scene that just ended and at a hospital. And in the very next scene, someone's being told, like, oh, yeah, he's going through a rough time because she died the other day at home. I'm like, this was like, it didn't make any sense to me. I was just like, and I can't believe that I never caught it. And I like continuity. That's the word. You have to suspend your belief or need for continuity. Because it doesn't always. And if you can do that, then I think The Exorcist is still a great movie.
If you could just turn off half your brain, this movie will be great, and like everything will just be awesome about it. You know, a movie that like is great.
What did you like
without
about
needing
this?
continuity?
What?
Pulp Fiction.
Okay. But that has continuity, but it makes sense. You just have to follow.
It's all over the place.
No, but
you
that's
take
like
a
the way they do
storyboard
it.
and you just like.
That's the way they do it. They do it in a way where Quentin Tarantino did it in a way where you gotta like jump from the end to the middle to the beginning to like whatever, like 3/4 of the way through and then back. We've got a comment. Adrian says, then Pazuzu
Showed up in his dream through his mom. Yeah, when she was standing in the subway or whatever.
Yeah, that was a okay.
But, like, why the
Spooky
fuck did he-
scenes.
at that. Okay, had you seen her at that point?
That was
Yeah, that was after he
the
saw.
hospital.
Right. Okay, that's fair then.
So I guess what they're trying to say is that he left her in the hospital. He then leaves. He has a dream about his mother, and then she's dead. So that I always thought that her walking up from the stairs to the subway, and then he's trying to call to her and she can't hear him, and then she walks back down and she's going down. I always thought that was symbolic of something like she was like out of reach, or like maybe that she had passed. But then I just thought, like, why down? She seemed like a good lady. She should like be going up, right? Like, why would she be going down?
She probably very lightly sinned.
Very what?
Lightly sinned.
You can't talk ill of sweet old ladies, man. That's no. They make meatballs and food and things for you on Sunday to eat, and they go, "Are you okay? You eating? You okay?"
Isn't that more of a shot at like biblical God?
I don't know what you're talking about. Just respect old women. God damn it. I'm just saying. Like,
I'm respecting the oldest of women. Praise be.
Stop. I'm just saying. I understand. I guess that scene.
God
in
is
the
a woman.
movie to the point, and then I don't know. I'm not touching anything you've said. I'm just leaving you out there on your.
Bring it, comments.
Just like you to know that this show is completely set. We do not communicate anything.
We have the
prior.
same thought process. We've had this conversation beforehand. These are actually his words. That's a quote.
Oh, jeez.
Pazuzu is gonna squeeze your nuts.
And honestly, though, Pazuzu is like the
Like
least
that one,
scary
dude.
fucking name for a demon. Pazuzu? Seriously? It sounds like a Suzu. It just makes me think of a poorly made car.
Did I not say that already? Pazuzu is the dumbest name for
Gotta
it.
be honest, you're inspiring me to watch it again. It's been in your...
You should.
definitely
You
should
can be
watch
disappointed
it.
with
No,
us,
you
April.
won't be disappointed. You just have to suspend the need for continuity.
Your need to defend this movie is baffling to me.
Watch it alone in the dark, and just remember... and just remember that you could be possessed.
Remember that you have nothing to fear, because this movie
You could be possessed by
is
a
a
demon.
solid okay.
You could be possessed by a demon one day.
So April says, in regards to your common sense thing, I think you
You
have
just-
to do that with most horror movies.
You're just pissing it in.
Adrienne Jones, Rosemary's Baby is a good one.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you right here. Just let everyone know. So
What do I do?
when the comments appear on the
I was
screen,
reading though. Sorry.
hang on. When the comments appear on the screen, it's because Anil has curated the comments.
Oh,
and she's
yeah.
decided which ones she thinks are a question we should answer or talk about or whatever, and she puts it on the screen. And there's like a, let's call it a 10 or 15 second delay between what you see live in internet world and what we see here in the studio. And so we have to wait for it to come up on the feed in front of you so we can see that it's an act, like, so we can do it in time. And Jeff right now is making use of the fact that we can see the comments.
It was only because
And
it
you're
was
just
getting to
reading
the top.
ahead, and she can't get the comments up
I was
quick.
just getting the old
She's
ones out of the
rubbing her
way.
eye. She's literally doing the curse thing to you with the horns. She's putting a spell on
It's
you.
fine. It's
It's where
fine.
you
I'm
do
just like,
this.
he's read it. And as I'm throwing it up on the screens, I'm like, okay, well, there's no point. And before I get to the next one, he's read that one too. I'm like, all right, well,
I was
now
just
no
firing through
one
the small
knows
ones.
what we're talking about, but it's fine.
April, you're not an old lady. What are you, like 25?
What happened?
And he does it again.
Just stop reading it. Okay, I'm changing this fucking thing.
No, leave it. I'll stop.
I'm changing this so we can't see the comments. What did April say?
But Anil doesn't put all the comments up. How do I do this? I'm gonna ignore half of you.
I'm not gonna put up the comments and say bah ha ha or ha ha.
Anyway,
You're fine.
I think that so April's got a comment there. It says ha 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 what? Hey, I'm an old lady who makes me okay. April, you're not that kind of old lady. You're not
April,
even an
do you want
old
to
lady.
sponsor our show
Do you know
for
what
a
an
Monday?
old lady is? An old lady. I'm gonna tell you what an old lady is. To me, an old lady. When I say old lady, I mean like old nonna. Like I mean like the kind of lady who's wearing all black because she's outlived her husband, and she's wearing
It's
like
got dark.
no, but that's what like an old nonna is. Like she's just like she's just like her whole thing is just like taking care of her family, and she's like the old Italian European like nonnas, like like they're just like wearing all black and like always got a handkerchief.
They speak like this.
They speak with their hands a lot. They're always asking you if you're eating,
hungry.
if you're hungry, are you okay?
When was the last time you ate?
Yeah.
You should eat.
I mean, they don't have to be.
You're full. You should
Right?
eat.
This is it. Just tell me I
Just
love
tell
you and go.
Just at Pat's birthday celebration on the weekend, he was
Can
we-
was leaving and he was saying, "Thank you
Thanks,
so much
Anil,
for the
for doing
food,
this.
and thanks Anil for this."
Thanks
And,
for
and I was
that.
like, I was pretty drunk, and I just turned to him, and apparently he heard it in this
I
accent.
heard it in like the
And I was-
bubby, like the.
Just tell me you love me, and you go home. Okay, goodbye.
Just say I love you, Anil, and go.
I love you,
home.
and
Okay,
Anil, and
bye-bye.
go home.
I will wait to acknowledge that until you put it on the screen.
Also, I should retract the part about wearing all black because they're, because my mother's an old nonna.
And I'm
too.
also a bubby.
And she's, my dad's still around, so
I
it's
wear all black. I don't know.
I wear all black too, so I'm
yeah,
an old nonna too.
you're a bubby too. Oh, no.
Nonnas.
Nonas.
Bubbies and nonas.
Bubbies and nonnas.
Nonas.
Bananas.
Check that out.
What's wrong?
Bananas.
It worked.
What just happened? Yes. I do want to sponsor your show. I'll make you meatballs.
Yes.
For the next show.
Is this an official offer?
I think it's an official
It's
offer.
online.
All
It's
right,
on
April,
Facebook. It's
said it,
Facebook
done
official.
I
it.
feel
done.
like when you put something in writing.
Yeah.
I'll make the spaghetti.
I will pick them up on the way to the
Yeah.
studio, and these boys will have some meatballs.
Would anybody else like to sponsor us with some garlic bread?
Do you think
What am I doing,
one
like a
day-
community pickup? What
do
is
you think
this?
like one day we'd ever grow this show to a point where we could have an event where people come
Have
and
our-
actually watch the movie?
No, we have our
We,
viewers
rent out
sponsor
a
the show.
space, and we just have everybody there watching a movie with
We'll
us.
have our viewers sponsor the
they're
show
just
by
like, I
just
love
adding a certain side
I love
dish.
watching these two drink a shit ton and eat while they watch a movie. It's so great. Glad we
It's
bought tickets
basically
to
just
come
what
here.
I do all night. It's like these two idiots drink, get drunk, and watch a movie, and I'm just like, yeah, this is funny. It's great. It's good times.
Okay.
April, we will take you up on that because I would love to taste your meatballs.
I think that this was
That's not
not a
weird.
great kickoff to Halloween month.
Wah. Is there like a sound effect?
we're really
Wah, wah.
we're really
I
kind
don't
of
mean for this
banking.
episode. I meant like just it wasn't a great movie. You're right. I think I picked something.
Oh, Annalise making the garlic bread. Sick.
Look at this. Are we having a big? How are we?
We're getting sponsored by our viewers.
That's amazing.
What you should
Um,
be asking for is like, does anybody have any homemade wine they would like to bring down here?
Homemade wine, anybody? We'll
don't
we'll
drink
also
wine.
have Anil pick up homemade wine.
Oh, Jamie has to pick up so many things.
Are we?
Can you stop calling me Anil, please?
Jamie, we'll
like-
have Jamie pick up so many
Thank
want
wines.
you.
Jamie?
It's my alias.
Jamie name.
I am
okay.
Jamie.
Jamie. It's weird.
It's Joe Rogan.
Jamil.
It's joking.
Jafeel?
I think I just think like that moving forward.
The next movie will be better.
I really think The Conjuring's gonna be in there.
We're really banking, I feel, a lot in the horror aspect in the sense of me being a little bitch watching these movies. This movie's not scary.
Yeah.
But
no,
The
I think-
Conjuring is the type of movie with the type of like shit that gets me that like we will have a reactions reel and it will be me jumping and plugging my ears like a bitch.
with the idea that the
I
reaction
say that
reel,
with
no,
no
it's true because
fucking-
with the idea that the reaction reel is usually like us being funny or something funny happening or just whatever. This movie didn't yield anything for us, and that's unfortunate. But I
Yeah.
feel like The Conjuring will definitely make you jump because I still, to this day, when I watch The Conjuring, I'm waiting for it to come on the screen because Jamie posted it. Okay, I still think to this day, like, that I watch The Conjuring, and like there are certain scenes that I know are gonna happen, and I still jump.
You
So
keep talking about some clapping scene.
the clap scene, the fucking hide and clap scene in The Conjuring. Scary fucking shit. Okay, what do we got here?
Sounds terrifying.
April says she's got some homemade wine. Yeah.
Oh man.
My dad has homemade Italian wine, and she can get it. And Annalie and April says she'll throw in 3 bottles.
Can we
with the
toss
meatballs.
their
Jeez
ads
Louise.
in the yellow instead of Brews and Reviews?
Can we like the show the sponsor? Yeah. Like,
Yeah, the sponsor ads. We'll toss them in like a corner or something under Rattle 1.
That'd be funny. I just like you just what are we doing? We're just soliciting food and alcohol
Yeah,
from the
it's great.
viewers.
We're getting them good.
Who's
Oh.
gonna-
We're getting them good.
Yeah, but I think like moving forward, definitely like The Conjuring would be a good one to watch.
Amityville Horror
Um,
Original.
The original
I've seen
Amityville
that.
Horror, yeah. I feel like I'm worried about like classics like that only because like I mean I've watched the Amityville Horror.
Classics don't have the same effect as we've witnessed tonight.
The like the psychological thrillers, you know, like that's Amityville. Like Amityville is like it's a slow burn. Like it's like one of those, you know. You have to, you know, it kind of like every night it gets a little worse. Like every night it gets
Not
a
the
little.
one where like the wolves attack the dude in the street or something.
No,
Horror.
Amityville is like that house. In
That big
Long
house
Island.
and there's shit happening.
Uh,
April is saying she will contribute wine. We're getting wine drunk next week.
what does that say?
But she's more specifically
Shout
saying
out to
the
what?
Corkery in
The
Aurora.
oh, the Corkery in Aurora.
If you have wine needs, in the sense of needing wine to be corked by you, go to the Corkery in Aurora.
That's
like
actually
the-
a fairly decent,
Shout out.
fairly decent kind of sponsored ad for a company that doesn't
If I had a
sponsor
lone
us.
show, I would definitely do all of my ads like that. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't get many.
If you have a business that you're trying to get off the ground and you want some ads, like we can professionally read those ads for you. Like
Semi-professionally.
for instance, give me an ad for like the new burger joint in Newmarket that sells the best burger in Newmarket.
Crown Burger Bar, where you'll get a burger that's probably better than most of the other burger bars.
Some might even call it the best.
The Ground Burger Bar.
Vegan options available.
Vegan options are available for maybe the 2 of you out there that are wondering. Gluten-free bun for the 1%.
Okay,
that
now
was
you're
wondering.
scaring me. It's worse. That's scarier than The Exorcist.
I
just
feel like if
gluten-
we asked our viewing audience if they would like to see some more acting reels.
Oh yeah, what did you guys think of our? I mean,
Yeah.
like, I realize the actual show might feel like a bit of like a letdown. I hope not, but we didn't have much to say with the show. But the lead up, the promo reel with us sort of reenacting like a scene from The Exorcist, or like a loosely based scene on The Exorcist. What did you guys think of that? Did you see it? And if you didn't see it, I bet you we could probably show it.
Pat gets full
During
credit
this
for
show.
the whole idea, for the record.
We could probably pop it up
I
if
had
you
to
didn't
call
see
him
it. But
and ask him what I'm supposed to do.
yeah, like that was actually a lot of fun. We had talked about the possibility of doing scenes from the upcoming movies that we were watching periodically, not every week, not every movie, but just like the odd movie that had like maybe a more of an iconic scene that we would like reenact.
Yeah, like for Twister, we were talking, or Pat was talking about the idea of doing like us in the car and being like, "How?" Just like,
Yeah. It was definitely like a fun
we didn't.
little thing. You know, we didn't get to that, unfortunately. But we had talked about doing it possibly for other movies leading up. It would be under Da Vinci, just so you know. Possibly leading up to other movies. With this one here, we were I shot the scenes Oh, is it coming up? Okay, here we are. Is the volume on? No, you're on camera still, Tommy. Oh, okay. Don't hit the camera. It's only a minute. Oh my God, you're not computing.
This part here, like.
Foul spawn of Satan, be gone! The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you! Demon, leave this man and let him get up! Get up! Seriously, just get up. Like, we have a show to do. Let's
My
go!
favorite is this one here.
true.
Wait.
Yeah.
That was the one where it was like his head was like. What's that?
No, I dug it. I thought it was great.
Jeff actually. When we did that, and much like he's not here now, at this moment he's stepped out. Wow, but
This is just where Jeff goes though. This is
Yeah.
just what he does.
so Jeff wasn't here. I shot some of the video here with Anil, and then Anil went home and shot the rest of the video with Jeff in a different location. And so in the B reel, I can hear Anil kind of like mimicking what I was saying. Watch that container so it doesn't fall.
Oh dear.
This container.
This
We're
guy,
gonna
when
navigate
this guy
you
gets up
right there. You're gonna knock
mid-show,
it over. You're gonna knock. Oh, it's gonna fall.
when he gets up mid-show,
No, but it's gonna fall.
I
That
feel like I
container,
get
I'm
so
asking you to
stressed
move.
out.
Nimble. Oh.
Like I'm like, move the fucking container.
Would somebody be willing to sponsor our show with like adult diapers for Jeff so he can hold his tiny bladder in for one episode?
You don't really think about it, eh? Because like you're like we're just sitting here drinking for like hours. And then
Listen,
you're like,
Joe Rogan leaves to pee. He just got a Spotify deal. You want a Spotify deal?
I do.
Go leave to pee.
I actually don't know if I do. What?
That's called wrong logic, people.
Wrong watching.
Wrong logic.
Wrong watching. Yeah, I think that there is like something to be said for like doing those kind of promos. I think that's kind of fun. I like doing that. I think on some of the more iconic movies anyway. We got a comment here. What is that? It's so small. The way
Sorry,
we've-
I can probably make it bigger.
No,
for
it's
you.
just because Jeff
There you
wants.
go. Hold on, Pat. Let me
It's
just
just-
make it big enough so that you can see it. Let me
Yeah.
just...
It's
Through the
just,
entire screen. He's still gonna grab his
Can
reading
you read that now,
glasses.
Pat?
hang on, I gotta wait 10 seconds for it to
I know.
resize. Oh, here we go.
Loved the axe Pat made an excellent priest.
Yeah, you gotta get a little tighter on
Jeff
the.
should have got out of bed at kind of like the Scream movie. Looked at Pat and said, "What's up?"
Yeah.
My imitation of old man Pat.
Dear
for
Lord.
the record.
You know what? You're kind of a dick.
Eh,
Wow, I know you are a dick, but whatever.
I'm a
Um,
cox.
I think that my eyes are fine. I think it's just they're not great sometimes.
So they're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny says,
Fine is like good.
"Def Oscar worthy performance, boys." See, definitely an Oscar worthy performance. I thought we did really well. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
thought it was as good as we could have done.
I think next week we're gonna pick. I really feel like we're gonna do The Conjuring. I don't know if we're gonna do it next
Gonna
week
be
or the week
hard.
after.
For The Conjuring, if we were to do an acting thing, because I've never seen The Conjuring, so I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I mean that could be hard.
Also, got to take care of your bladder health. Good for you, Jeff Cox. Pee when you have to pee. Thank you, April, the sensible adult. That's for
Just
That's
saying.
for you.
Show wasn't gonna be that much longer. Just
Yeah.
could have held it. Is all I'm saying. Could have.
You don't know my bladder.
All right, so to summarize, movie sucked, but we've got meatballs, garlic bread, and homemade
Yeah.
wine for next week.
So
The best part about this
so-
movie is the sponsorships we've gotten
So
for
if-
next
if-
week.
First off, the movie didn't suck. Just said it wasn't great. If we're doing spaghetti and meatballs and garlic bread and wine, which I'm not saying we are next week, but let's say we were.
If we were to.
Then I don't know if The Conjuring is the right movie for that. I almost feel like we need to consider some movie that has a spaghetti and meatball, garlic bread, wine kind of tie-in.
Are we not doing Hocus
Why?
Pocus at all?
We might. Well, I think we said we would do Hocus Pocus.
So I feel like that would be fun.
It goes
Wine,
against the
witches, there's Hocus
grain.
Pocus wine. Emily Malloy actually, after last week's episode, sent me a message with the Hocus Pocus canned wine.
Canned wine.
Canned wine.
Classy.
Canned wine is
Right.
the worst.
Isn't that just
Well-
like juice with alcohol?
Isn't that just wine?
A horror movie, a horror, a horror.
A horror movie.
Wow. Sorry. Almost said the wrong.
Shame.
Yeah. A horror movie with a spaghetti and meatball garlic bread sort of tie-in.
Why? Why?
Because it just... 'cause
We
we're
didn't
eating
watch a Market Brewery tie.
No, but like if we were eating pizza, I would actually be like, okay, let's get a meatball pizza and watch Nightmare
Cloudy
on
with a
Elm
chance
Street.
of meatballs.
No,
Oh.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part like 2 or something when he's like pulling the meatballs off the pizza and they're the heads of the kids that he's murdered and he eats them off his scissor finger.
What are you talking about?
Have you ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street? Freddy Krueger?
Oh. I was thinking Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Never mind.
That is
Oh
a
my
children's
gosh.
cartoon, Jeff.
That's a good movie.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. Think about it.
Everyone keeps saying Rocky Horror Picture Show, and honestly, I kept thinking it was Little Shop of Horrors because I always refer to the giant
Which is
Venus flytrap.
Feed Me Seymour. That's
I
like,
feel like Rocky Horror Picture Show is going to be that movie I just sit through, and at the end of it, I'm just like, what the fuck was that?
Yes, paired with some really, really good like performances from Tim Curry and Meatloaf.
That'll be something that I can appreciate but not react to.
I don't
Like,
know.
well, that's neat.
I just think like we'll have to pick a new. I don't know.
Poltergeist.
I do think that we might watch The Exorcist. I don't think I would watch the Poltergeist movie only because haven't seen it in a really long time, and
I think let's gauge after next week because I haven't seen The Conjuring and I didn't watch it when it came out because honestly, it scares. It looks
I
scary.
want to watch movies I think that are scary. Moving forward, I think I want to watch movies that I think that are actually like freaky Halloween movies, like are scary. But I think like if they're not that, like The Conjuring or The Nun or The Conjuring 2 or Annabelle Comes Home or anything that was tied together
Wait,
with The
so
Conjuring.
the demon lives through The Conjuring? That's spoilers.
It's a
It's a sequel.
It's a different demon.
Oh, that's stupid.
It's a witch actually in the first one.
That's that's spoilers.
Shut up. No, really. Just stop.
Just shut up.
This camera
Shut
right
your
here.
Stupid mouth.
Just shut the fuck up. No, I think that if it's not those kind of movies, like more serious or more like, actual, like what I call like scary movies, then I think that I would want to do like Fright Night, like something that's like kind of campy. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Fright Night. I want to keep it with like those ones where you're gonna have a lot of things to poke fun at and like it's cool.
Those are
because it's-
thrillers, though.
No, Friday the 13th is Jason Voorhees and
That's
Nightmare on
not
Elm
a
Street.
horror movie.
But of course it's a horror movie. What do you consider a horror movie?
I feel
versus
like
a
your movie's been
thriller?
decided for you. I'm not going to toss them all up, but Annalise said Annabelle. Adrian said Annabelle. April said Annabelle. Well, she said The Conjuring and then Annabelle.
Because they're all tied together. Because they're all pieced in part.
Spoilers.
It's not spoil. You know what?
Oh, my mic. Don't do that. That's going to cause problems. Oh, you ruined it.
I can mute him.
No, I don't know.
Mute me.
Fix that.
I am Brews and Reviews.
Jessica, I will not be silent.
I am Bruce.
Jeez.
Oh.
I was talking about. I was talking to Pat about this
shit.
earlier because we're watching these horror movies and like, sure, like ghosts and shit are like, ooh, scary, but like, what happened to like good monster movies? Like, I thought A Quiet Place was really good. A lot of people said it was stupid. Sure, if you look at it logically, I think it's kind of stupid. Like, there's a lot of things that they probably would have gotten like smashed to bits about. for making noise, but like that was a good monster and a good suspenseful movie in the sense of like that shit scares me. Like, why don't they have more like someone thinks of like a scary fucking monster in a weird way that it murders people and like people survive? Like Jurassic Park, along the same lines, that scared the shit out of people when they were like 100 years ago and they were naive. But like fucking I don't know, like make more of those. Like what happened to monster movies? Everything's invisible ghosts and like stupid ladies with like black eyes and pointy teeth and shit. I don't know, it's stupid. I would be more invested with monster movies. What?
I don't know. I like monster movies. I mean, I guess it depends. I can't really think of like a good monster movie that was.
Alien, original Alien, great monster movie. A
You know
Quiet
what?
Place,
I'm gonna go on a limb.
great monster movie.
I'm gonna
Predator
say- I'm gonna say
was
something.
an action movie.
I'm gonna say something. Alien, in my opinion, is not a horror movie. It's not. It's not in this. It's not an October movie. It's about It's sci-fi. It's fucking aliens. Predator is not a horror movie.
I
Alien is-
just said that.
But I'm saying the Alien's not a horror movie.
When was the last
either.
time you watched original Alien?
It doesn't matter. It's just. It's not.
What a deflection of a question, ladies and gentlemen. The best deflection of a question I've ever seen. Just ignore completely.
It doesn't
That movie
matter.
is a horror movie. Like at its core, that is a suspenseful horror movie.
I think that if we took a vote, if Alien was a horror movie or a sci-fi
you
movie,
just have a problem with sci-fi that I still
also
don't
have a problem
understand.
with sci-fi. I'm on the record saying that I am an anti-sci-fi kind of guy. If I was hungry, I'd eat some pie. I'm that person. Whatever. I don't care. I'm just saying it's not supernatural. Horror movies are supposed to be supernatural or
That
people.
is so bullshit. Supernatural movies are supposed to be supernatural.
What do you think a
Horror movies
Stop
are
fighting.
supposed to be
What do you think a horror movie is?
horrorful? What do you say? Horror-y. Horror-y.
When you
Horror-esque?
think of horror
Yes.
and thrillers, even
Mm-hmm. Scary.
yes, but scary isn't like he's a really big guy with a big gun. He's scary. It must be a horror movie. Like aliens are not horror because they're scary. They're fucking aliens. Is Independence Day a horror movie all of a sudden?
You're
Did I miss the
straight
boat?
up wrong, and you're just arguing with me, and it's baffling my brain.
Oh my god, are you serious right now?
Straight up!
Sci-
Where's Simon?
What sci-fi horror movie was there ever made except for maybe Jason X where the fucking horror movie guy goes to space?
That was a thriller movie.
Let's not distinguish between horror and thriller.
Let's distinguish between horror and sci-fi because they can't be the same
Horror
thing.
and
Because
thriller is
horror
like-
somehow means paranormal like bullshit.
Horror and thriller are at least fucking brother and sister to the same genre. Thrillers like fucking I don't know, American Psycho.
Did you say that's a thriller?
Well, it's like
Thrilling.
a thriller horror movie, but I'm just saying when I think horror, I think like guts and blood and demons and monsters, and you gotta be careful with the foot because you got the look from Anil.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jamie gave you the look.
It's bouncing.
You're making the cameras vibrate.
Literally what April just described. No comments on the. Send them to separate corners. Yes. Sorry, Jamie.
So I asked the question to our amazing viewing audience if Alien is horror or sci-fi, and we've got sci-fi. So nobody has said that Alien is horror.
I am so ready to just say everybody is wrong.
And then horror equals killing, death, frightening, gory, murder.
Alien.
Alien is sci-fi.
Alien is all
You
of
could say
what
The
that
Godfather
definition of horror
was horror by your fucking because there's scary people and they're getting killed.
Yeah, was it frightening? Was it gory?
Yeah, actually, there
Frightening,
are
yeah, it
some
was
gory
scary,
fucking
scary,
scenes
and frightening.
in The Godfather. Yes.
Frightening.
if you're not frightened,
Or was
by
that a
swimming
gory
with the fucking
drama
fishes,
movie?
Yeah,
Even
I
on,
guess.
even on my watch party that I'm hosting on Facebook, which just if anybody wants
Is
to
anyone
know.
telling us just to shut up?
No. Well, Jenny's being funny, but if anybody's watching from the watch party that I'm hosting on Facebook, make sure that if you're commenting, you want to comment on the live video comment side so these guys can see it. But I'm gonna read a comment from Paul who's watching,
Okay.
saying sci-fi.
100% fucking sci-fi because Paul has a fucking brain.
Paul is also wrong.
Paul
You
is
guys
not
are
wrong.
all
No!
wrong.
Oh my god. Okay.
This blows my mind that you guys all think this. The
What?
sci-fi movies, if they're scary, are just sci-fi movies. That is so stupid. It's a horror movie.
How?
Sorry, I'll move my mic away so I can yell.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie.
So you think Alien is a horror
Jeff,
movie,
yes.
How do you figure?
and Pat
It's a
thinks
horror
Alien is
sci-fi
a
movie.
sci-fi
I'm not going to
movie.
yell anymore.
No, you don't need to yell.
I'm not going to yell.
IMDb says
It's-
both.
I am. Who said
Horror
that?
sci-fi.
Who said that? Who said that?
Nobody said that. I'm saying that.
Who said that?
Someone might agree with me. Someone might say the exact same thing I just said.
Sci-fi is.
We don't know.
We
don't
Jeff,
know.
your mother is now watching.
Oh, true. Sup,
Okay.
Mom?
Listen.
You
Okay.
did this.
Sci-fi and horror. You can have a sci-fi horror movie. I imagine if you had aliens from outer space attacking Earth, like in a horror movie sense, like I don't know. Like I'm trying, and I'm giving you only if you're talking like a 1950s movie where it's like aliens from outer space. And they're all running for their lives, and the alien. And even then, I don't know, man. The giant, like a giant cricket, maybe like an alien made a giant cricket, like out of like a small cricket, and made it big, and then that cricket killed everybody. It's still sci-fi, but maybe horror, but like only in like 1955 standards.
You were speaking the next best thing to nonsense.
Okay, look. There are certain sci-fi movies, I'm sure, that could also be horror. One of those movies is absolutely not Aliens.
No, we're talking Alien, not Aliens.
Whoa, you're just nitpicking.
Alien is... Oh, okay, excuse me. When was the last
Same-
time you watched these movies?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
Continue then.
It's been a long time. I actually have not. I don't think I've watched Alien. You know why? Because it's a fucking sci-fi, and I don't like sci-fi. I've been very clear that I don't watch sci-fi movies. Horror and thriller is my genre. The fact that you're trying to like weasel, there's a boat of like this is like up here, and you're just trying to get
The fact that you
sci-fi
think I'm
onto the
just
boat.
trying to disagree with you
I'm
without actually
not.
thinking I'm right is ridiculous.
What? I'm not.
I straight up think you're wrong. And Alien is a horror movie that is a sci-fi movie. Aliens is an action thriller movie.
I didn't know
with
there was
sci-fi,
a difference.
with a sci-fi action.
I
thriller
didn't know
movie.
there was even two different movies.
I didn't know there was a difference between sci-fi and horror in the sense of them being a horror movie. You have sci-fi like Star Trek.
We just
You have sci-fi like Alien, which is sci-fi horror. Fucking crazy shit.
Adrienne says, we just can't think of any, Pat. I'm with you.
Adrienne, welcome to Team Wrong.
Look.
You guys should make shirts.
Look.
Pat, how's your drink?
I need another one.
I also need another one.
You're getting encouraged to keep drinking.
Sounds like Godzilla. Best thing in relation to Godzilla is the movie Cloverfield, which was not scary. That was a sci-fi thriller movie. Had some jumpy elements, but
Thank you, Jamie.
that was more of a sci-fi thriller movie. I'm of course talking about Cloverfield in place of Godzilla, which was not in the comments because it's not on the screen. I'm sorry. I was just talking in the sense of
I didn't watch. Okay, Cloverfield. I did see. That was where like we're all running down the road. It was all
yeah,
shot
it's
in,
like
like
the camera movie. I
hand
like
red.
that movie a lot. It's a good movie.
Okay, see, I would put Cloverfield in sort of this like could be more of a horror or a thriller movie than a sci-fi movie. It
Wait,
doesn't.
you're saying it's more horror?
I'm saying that I think that I would watch that as like a scary movie. Let's not call them horror thriller. If
I
it makes-
disagree with you.
I'm saying that it's more of a scary movie than it is a science fiction movie, sci-fi. It's less about the science. It's not about the ship. They're not in outer space. They don't know how they got there. There's just shit going down on Earth. Alien literally takes place in space on a ship or something. Like, it's not present day Earth. It's not Earth 20 years from now. It's fucking on a ship flying through the fucking universe, and there's alien beings killing people. That is a sci-fi movie straight up. Landing on Earth, present day, killing people, not about their tech, not about their fucking plane or their ship or their craft or where they're from or anything.
I wish I could scrunch my face more.
Like the Blob or something, like just something of like
Blob.
like a meteor hits the Earth.
The Blob set
A
is
meteor-
just a sci-fi
meteor-
movie because it's set on Earth
a
and there's no
meteor-
space or anything.
Yeah, I think that my logic is better than whatever fucking thing you're using to define whatever it is you're trying to say.
You live on planet Suck. You are sci-fi, sir.
This house is a prison. Planet bullshit. You got a comment on the screen there.
Oh, man.
Alien is considered sci-fi according to the internet. Listen, I will disagree with the internet any day. 'Cause
You
that's
think,
how
you
the
think
internet
Alien
currently
is a
works.
horror movie?
Alien is a horror movie.
Would you watch Alien like during this month?
Yes.
Sorry. And put it out there for people as like a
Yes. I know where you're going with this, and still yes, because I still stand by what I'm saying as it being a horror movie.
Of all the movies that I have there in the horror movie section, do any of them strike you as sci-fi?
Obviously, it wouldn't be, seeing as you organize them, and you don't know what you're talking about.
I think that we've exhausted this.
I think.
So
I think all we've established
think-
is that
I think it would be cool to kind of
Jeff is wrong.
understand why Jeff has this opinion and why it happens to be so contrary to the popular opinion. It's wrong, but we need to understand what that is.
I love that you explained it, even though I picked up like your innuendo, like your underlying meaning prior. That was good.
So, Jeff, I haven't seen Alien in its entirety, but I get the concept of that movie. So I think that people, most people in the population generally think that that movie is more sci-fi because it is in fact science
'Cause it
fiction.
includes science.
No, but
it's
it's
about
it's a world that
aliens.
doesn't exist. It's science fiction. So I've been sitting here and just listening, and I can summarize it up to one thing that might lend some perspective on this.
Fucking aliens.
Whereas like horror, I feel like you can have science fiction horror,
That's what I said.
right? But I think that the difference between Alien being sci-fi and it being horror is that it's nothing really that exists. So horror being like The Exorcist, The Conjuring, Annabelle, that shit is all kind of like realistic. Things can be possessed, people can be possessed.
Yeah.
I would say A Quiet Place, that's like horror sci-fi for sure, because it's not really anything that we've experienced here on this
Well,
planet.
it doesn't really include science.
Okay, don't get your mocking little face in there, but that's what I think. If, for my opinion, because you're paying for it, so that's what I think. Because you're
Really
paying me.
quickly, I think
at the
when
end of this
you
episode.
are talking, that you should also have to turn on the producer cam. Because I feel like at some point, maybe you're not gonna do it. Maybe I'll agree with you. Today's not the best day to turn the camera on. Well, I'm just saying.
I think it's cool that people don't know what I look like.
Fair enough.
Because I don't host any shows on Rattle One, and I'm literally just Jamie. Nobody
Yeah,
knows who
this
I
is
am.
true. This
right?
is true. Well,
I've heard your point. Sorry, can I respond?
no, you can
I've heard your
respond. I
point.
was just
I
saying.
still
Well,
think
you
you're
made-
wrong. I think you're wrong. I think they're wrong. I think you guys have this weird opinion of science fiction as though like it can't be horror because horror has to involve invisible demon shit pulling people downstairs.
No,
and shit,
horror could be
AKA
a serial
fucking
killer.
paranormal activity.
Horror
That's
could be
thriller.
a serial killer. A serial killer who doesn't die, like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger.
Those are thriller movies.
Don't read them out loud. No, I'm talking about.
There are no funny comments other than the ones on screen. There are no other comments.
Why
other than
are
the ones
you
on
so
screen.
hard on the distinction between horror and thriller? As if they're not the same thing.
Why are you so hard on the distinction between science fiction and horror?
That is a bigger leap for me.
Horror
Thrillers-
is a type of movie where science fiction is more like the setting.
I don't think I understand what you mean by that.
Okay, you have a movie, like a thriller movie is generally something that is, what is that? Because science scares him more than spirits? Is that in regards to me? I thought Paranormal Activity was scary.
That's funny though.
I saw the fucking, what's that one with the college kids and shit where they shot it and it was all low budget and Blair Witch Project. I thought that was scary at the very last scene.
Yeah.
That was a scary movie.
Yeah.
That was,
And that I would consider that a horror movie, even though
Yes.
there's no one got killed, there was no blood, there was no gore.
So say it was the exact,
Or call it a thriller, but
say-
it's in the same genre,
Okay,
horror thriller.
Here's my point. Say we were watching Blair Witch Project. Say they
Right.
shot it the exact same way.
Okay.
The only thing you really see in that movie is that very last scene. Sorry, spoilers.
If
But
you haven't seen the Blair Witch, you've got a problem.
honestly, you're not missing much. Honestly,
It wasn't that bad.
the only thing you see in that movie is that last scene where it's like that little thing comes out of the darkness and like clubs the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just that's the ghost. So say
Mhm.
that's an alien. Is this all of a sudden a science fiction movie?
Were they looking for a spaceship instead of a haunted
No, they're
house
still
or
in
a
the
witch?
exact same setting. They're just doing the exact same thing.
There's just an alien
Walking
in
around
an
the
old
same
abandoned
thing.
house.
Some weird shit's happening, and instead of a ghost coming out of the darkness, instead you have an alien comes out and just like clubs it. And like it could be a different alien. Don't think like Sigourney Weaver alien. But like it's just that last scene. You just change that character to an alien that does not belong on this planet. Is that all of a sudden, no, that's not a horror movie, that's a science fiction movie. You're crazy. I'm gonna make a drink while you ponder this. I can't make a drink while you ponder this.
I'm gonna just give you a little bit more mic here. I don't know that I can wrap my head around a bunch of kids looking for an alien in the woods.
No, they're looking for something like the
Well,
exact
they
same
were looking
setting.
for a witch, though. They knew they were looking for.
Okay,
the
so
spirit.
imagine that the whole thing was like, yeah, there's a spirit that haunts the woods. Okay, actually, they were wrong because that's just a folk's tale and it's an alien wandering around. Is
And
that
then
all
it
of a
just
sudden
turned out to
science
be an
fiction?
alien.
Science
and
fiction?
all you see is that little bit. Okay, I'll give you the perfect example. Then I would say yes, it's the same, because the entirety of the movie didn't take place on a spaceship, these are ors in a spaceship, or in the future, or on another planet that doesn't actually exist, or maybe it does, but you have to fucking follow an ass on Twitter to have ever heard of it. With technology that does to some degree exist today or not, is anything to do with just regular everyday stuff. So if you say yes, Signs takes place
Horror
on
movie.
Earth today.
Yes.
Aliens are there, but it's not about the ship. It's not about the tech. There's just the fact that something has happened. Then I would say Signs is a horror movie
That's
more
a
than a
suspenseful
sci-fi.
sci-fi horror movie.
Sure, if you want to give it 9 tags, that's cool. But at the end of the day, I put it into the same category. If I had Signs right now on DVD, it would be green with the green tag. It wouldn't be...
Based on your organization system, which I've already established is wrong.
Look up Signs. Like, what is Signs under? I'm gonna look it up right fucking now.
Would you go as far as saying that like if IMDb or a movie categorizing
I'm looking up
company
Signs right now.
put
what the sheep read.
okay, but let's just say movies get categorized as let's even the writer of the movie. He decides or she decides
Yeah, and they made the fucking
that
movie.
it's going to be a horror movie or it's science or it's a sci-fi movie, and that's what they decided. But you disagree, so you're saying that because you can think that a movie is in a different genre than it actually is.
Also, I'm sorry. Signs was directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
So
That was when he was
Shyamalan.
clearly a horror movie.
just came from. You're only adding to my point.
Also, I just feel like I want to toss this comment up on screen. So in 15
It is
seconds,
referred to as a science fiction horror film on Wikipedia.
Which?
Science. Is a alien? I don't know. I didn't look for alien. I'm just. Alien. Okay. Let's see what they say.
I don't know who April's
I don't know
talking
who the fuck
about.
these people are.
My name is Jamie.
Fucking guy, man.
I don't know who the fuck's writing these things.
It said science fiction horror. That
It
doesn't
does
make
say
sense.
science fiction horror, but what the fuck? I don't. Fuck this guy.
May as well use that last comment because it actually fit your narrative. Piece of garbage.
We're gonna do a show where you guys aren't reviewing a movie, but you're literally just having a debate about science fiction versus horror because I feel like there's enough content here for
It's
one.
gonna be the
show.
entirety of every show we have throughout all of October.
Ridley Scott. It's not a sci-fi horror. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, Ridley Scott, if that's what you put it under.
Pat doesn't give a fuck about facts.
This is Wikipedia. Are you gonna call it facts?
When would you not call it facts? Those are the people that actually
When it
properly
goes
research
against-
shit.
When it goes against what I'm trying to say, then it's not fact.
The music makes it. Dead Again, for example, psych thriller. What? Dead Again, for example, psych thriller, same as Psycho or The Birds. The Birds.
I haven't seen that one in a long time.
That is a hilarious horror movie. Oh no.
I'm not gonna go by.
The birds are attacking.
I'm not gonna go by what they're saying here exactly, but I
Pat
feel
is
like
not reading what he's reading because it only adds to my point.
I didn't say that. I just
And
said
he's
that.
saying that because he
For all I
doesn't know what
that's
to
your
respond.
fucking Wikipedia post.
Yeah, it's my page. I am a well-distinguished editor on Wikipedia.
You don't have to be well distinguished. That's the whole point. It's just publicly fucking crowdsourced. Like it's just
It's
anybody can post it.
Fucking sourced by the crowd. That's a big crowd, man. Everyone fucking uses
Anybody can
Wikipedia.
update it. It's not like they check it.
It like generally you make a wrong claim, it like immediately gets changed.
I feel like we just need to take a couple deep cleansing breaths right now. Just
Pat's an idiot. He doesn't know what horror is.
Wow, this is some bold. I'll
can
accept
be
idiot. I'll accept idiot over not knowing what fucking horror is.
I feel like we've already agreed though that you can have sci-fi and horror.
never said
He
you
has
couldn't.
not yet agreed.
No, I think he. I think he did a
Whoa.
while ago.
We're gonna rewind the tape. I
No,
Yeah,
agree.
it's all
read
here.
something that said, and he kind
about
of
that
scoffed
one movie
at it.
about Alien. That one movie. About that one movie. I said Signs was a sci-fi horror. I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host.
Oh my god! I want to mute his mic so bad. You got a comment up here from Adrian. It's actually
Hey Pat.
What's the link? I'll go change the entry.
It's
Alien at wikipedia.ca.
actually not. the link, but
James.
whatever.
It'll probably still take you
It
there.
It probably would.
All right, so we got a lot accomplished in this episode. I'm pretty proud of you guys and how you handled yourselves with dignity and grace.
We might be back next week.
We might not.
We're gonna be watching a nice family-friendly movie next week called The Conjuring. It's an action adventure, and it's what other fucking things are there? It's family oriented because titles don't seem to matter.
I don't even know. I'm like just like letting you go now. I have no idea.
It's because you know you're wrong.
I'm not wrong, and I don't know that I'm wrong. I'm just saying. Calming down. Just calming down.
Yeah, just breathe, man.
I'm just saying that
Doesn't know
your your description of what things are, your the way that you allot them to what category, I think is a little bit skewed. From and here's the thing, coming from a sci-fi guy.
I'm a sci-fi guy.
You're a sci-fi guy. who
Whom?
sometimes
You're not a regular guy.
whom
You're a
sometimes
sci-fi guy.
You're a sci-fi guy. You're a sci-fi guy whom sometimes likes to indulge in the horror thriller genre.
Okay. I'm not agreeing, but I'm acknowledging
I think that
I'm
you are
following
more
what
of a
you're saying.
sci-fi guy than you are a horror guy.
I think you
By your own admission of, I don't like scary movies. That's right. Bitch ass bitch.
if anything that shows okay, are you done with what
no,
you're saying
but
so I
hang
can
on.
rebut
I'm not
you?
done. But what I'm saying is,
Because I'm ready for you.
okay. But before I finish, let me just finish.
Little bitch
You
ass
are
bitch.
more of a sci-fi guy who sometimes watches horror movies, and I am definitely more a horror guy
Who doesn't watch
who
sci-fi
doesn't
movies.
or very seldomly watches sci-fi movies
Agree.
that I think fit my likings.
Narrative.
Like no, not narrative, because we're not talking about descriptions. We're talking about what I enjoy. So I will watch Signs. I will watch. I can't think of any other sci-fi. Cloverfield we had talked about. You might even argue that, like, I don't know. Nah, Blade's not really sci-fi. I mean, that's
No, it's an action adventure. Fucking.
I would still call it. It's vampires. I would still call it horror or thriller. It's in that. It's something and horror. It's not horror first. It's something.
more of a thriller.
It's something and it's thriller horror. It's action horror. It's action thriller. It's something like Resident Evil, zombies. It's horror. It's not.
It's not horror.
Resident Evil's not.
That's more of an action thriller.
It's zombies, man.
Are
Like,
you
it's
just going by the
zombies.
character? Like the fucking.
Yeah, to some degree, yeah. Like as soon as you put a fucking zombie in a movie, how is it not a horror movie?
Would zombies not be science fiction due to them being created by a virus
they
being made
could
by science?
legitimately be either or.
In a world-
depending on what you
In a
wanna
world with
believe.
laser beams that come in the form of a
They
gigantic
could-
cheese
they
grater grid that
could.
cuts you in a bajillion
I'm not
pieces.
disagreeing.
That's sci-fi. That's not horror.
I just said that they are elements
Based
of sci-fi.
on your argument.
Elements of sci-fi, but more set in present day horror possible scenario. And I mean Resident Evil, like, Umbrella Corporation. Yeah, like I get it. A lot of sci-fi-ish feelings in there, but not out of this world. Not aliens from another planet.
Listen, okay. Are you done your argument?
I'm done with you, sir.
Fucking all right. Listen, I win this argument solely based on the fact that I am actually open to
You're like
watching
10
the
years
different
old
movies.
saying I win.
I'm sorry. I was talking. I didn't realize you weren't finished.
I'm
Please
sorry.
continue.
No, you're right.
Continue,
I am.
please.
You're right.
You
my
had
apologies.
something to say.
You were right. My
It was important enough to cut me off.
You're right. My apologies.
I've watched all of the movies. Like I have watched both sides. I've seen like the Paranormal Activity, Insidiouses, blah blah blah. I've seen The Quiet Places. I've seen Alien. I've seen the fucking like it's horror is a type of movie that like pertains to it being fucking scary and like being shot in a way that's supposed to be jumpy and like it's towing that line of being a thriller, but it is more set on like a specific type of character interacting in a horrific way with the protagonist. You are openly admitting to the fact that like you don't like sci-fi, and in that regard you have a low opinion of it. The fact that horror movies and sci-fi movies have trouble existing in the same universe makes no fucking sense to me when it is still shot by the director in a sense to be a horror movie being scary. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Please, rebut me.
Wrong.
Okay.
That's such a Trump thing to say. Wrong.
I just disagree with the fact that you.
You are so
I'm not. Okay, look.
pinned on disagreeing with
Look,
me due
you
to
are
the
valid.
sci-fi aspect that you are not
I
seeing
respect you. You're valid. Your opinion matters. I'm not saying it doesn't. What I'm saying is, I think that sometimes the movies are more one thing than another.
I feel like you're starting to make more my argument.
Nope. This is how I always felt. I think where we disagree is which movie falls on the line of which more we're talking about. Sometimes a movie can be like, could there be a romantic horror movie? Sure. Why not? But I would never put it as a
That'd be
romantic movie. Like, if there was a horror movie, at the end of every fucking Friday the 13th, when the sole survivor survives and is in the arms of the other person who is trying to help them or something, and they fall in love and they're together until one of them dies in the next movie they make, I don't look at that and go, oh, this is a love story because they're in love and they're together and look, they kiss, so this is a romantic movie. But could there be a Notting Hill meets Hillside Strangler? Sure. But for me, I look at how much the movie falls on what side of the line for what genre you're talking about. So if you look at a movie like Signs, for me, it falls more on the horror thriller side, psychological thriller, because you don't always see the aliens,
Sci-fi?
more so on that side. And it also falls on the sci-fi side, but less than it falls on just the fact that there's aliens is the only thing that's sci-fi about it. Everything else about it is the movie starts with a woman pinned to the tree, and she's spouting off future things like swing away and la da da, and like that's not
Swing away,
that's
Merrick.
supernatural. Sorry, that's not sci-fi. That's seeing the future or something, foretelling, foreshadowing, omens, like that's that thing. And there just happens to be aliens, which are the bad guys. So that is sci-fi. So it is a sci-fi horror. But it actually should be horror sci-fi. Not because it's alphabetically correct, but because it is more of a horror movie or more of a thriller than it is a sci-fi. That's where we disagree. Is I'm just saying Alien falls more on a sci-fi side than it does horror because everything about it is sci-fi. And the only
it's set
thing
in space.
And the only thing that's horror is the fact that it's scary. I think I just fucking
No.
bazooka.
No, sorry. That wasn't
It
the
was
case
good.
at all.
Oh,
because
shut up. Oh, come on. Like, you're not going to give me points on that. That makes the most sense. Stop trying to hold my hand.
Cute.
That just makes sense.
Listen,
You're valid.
read that
I'm going to read
first.
it. Come on. I feel like already, like, this person, who is it? It's Anna Lee. She's just going to be, like, supporting Jeff because she feels bad for him. I think she rescues dogs or something. So, no, whatever. She just feels bad for him.
I'll take it.
Come on, Pat. Jeff made a point.
You made a damn good point.
He's been open to watch horrors with you. There's like a glare. Can you read
actually-
the comment? 'Cause
yeah.
like,
He's been open to
Come
watch
on.
horrors with you when he's not a fan. How about November? You guys make it a sci-fi month and be fair. Your opinion on sci-fi might change.
absolutely not. Go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I'll do it. Why not?
That's
Of
not
course
what
I
this
will.
is about.
But that's not what
this
it
is about. Proving you wrong.
But this is about being fair to each other.
Your point about the romance movies is ridiculous because, like, I think it really comes down to the way that the director wants to shoot a movie. So, in the sense, like, a romance movie is shot in the sense to make you feel those fuzzy feelings in your stomach of, like, aw, they're in love, they're going to the carnival, you want her a fucking thing, oh, look at that, oh, they're having sex. And, like, fucking, like, horror movies are shot in a way to, like, have that, how do I explain it? It's just a horror aspect to it. Like, you have the music that accompanies the scene. It's dark. It's shot, like, it's meant to be, like, a little bit kind of held back, but still make you, like, scared as fuck. It's supposed to build that atmosphere. Like, that's what I was talking about in regards to horror being, like, a setting. It's more of an atmosphere. And then in that regard, like, romance movies are set to be, like, that type of movie. So, like, I don't know. Like, I completely think you're wrong. I think each time you make an argument, you are slowly getting closer to a thing. But, like, each time you're not, like, beating my argument, in my opinion. You are just slowly finding a way that's coming to a point that actually makes some goddamn sense.
I don't look
Jenny
at this as, like,
says-
competing for points.
Jenny
this isn't a
says-
sport movie.
Oh, I'm not saying it's points because you'd be losing
'Cause
anyways.
then it would be about winning. or
Jenny
losing.
says, so what if an alien
Learning
falls
how to
in
play
love
the
with an
game.
earthling? What kind of movie would that be? That would be a sci-fi romance movie, Jenny.
I was going to say porn, but yeah.
Sci-fi porn. The same thing.
I don't think that I'm wrong in saying if it's more one
Sorry,
thing or the other.
you go right to sci-fi porn and like Adrian commented after like City of Angels with Nick Cage where it's Nick Cage, right?
Yeah.
Where he's an
We share a birthday.
angel.
What about it?
I don't know. It's just January 7th.
What just happened? I just missed. I like missed
I was-
everything. What the fuck?
I was
is
just
that?
trying to
of
make a
that.
point, and Jeff was like, "We share a birthday," and I was like, "Okay."
What about the movie
But yeah,
City of Angels?
it's not a porn sci-fi. It's just
Sci-fi romance.
I wouldn't even say that it is City of Angels
also
sci-fi.
Brooke is here, and she says horror sucks.
Brooke, you can
Brooks is coming out swinging.
horror. Wow. Whatever. I'm not even gonna get into it with fucking people about it, but I will say have fun working the night shift where you work, and I'm not saying anything about that. It's scary. Horror movies are based on some type of reality, and that shit could come to life and bite you in the ass. Literally, watch your back.
Can you?
Anyway,
Wait, it was.
horror doesn't suck.
Oh, I was just looking at April Humphrey's comment in the future. Guardians of the Galaxy.
You can't just take like a thing and say it's either like I don't know, like whatever. I'm just saying, like someone like I saw
I
Adrian.
feel like you know you're wrong, and you're. Just
I don't
trying to
know I'm
fucking-
wrong. I definitely don't know I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I don't know it.
What is the need to like classify all of these movies into certain categories?
This
Like,
all started.
just watch movies. I feel like
This
we'll
all
just watch
started
movies.
because we were
It's such
talking
a
about.
utopian attitude to take to this entire conversation.
What I was gonna say
Can't we all
was,
just get along?
what I was gonna say was, I try to stay away. I know I try to find and surround myself with people who are searching for the truth. And I try to run the fuck away from
Stay away
people
from
who
him.
think
Okay,
they have found
I've
it.
got a question
And
for you.
you
then.
Stay away
too
from him.
think you have found it.
Because
I have a question. I have a question for Jamie. Jamie,
What's up? How's it going?
not too bad. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm currently drinking a 2-liter bottle of Coke right now because you
I
guys are
s-
stressing me
I
out
see
so
that.
much.
I see that. It's Coke Zero. Come on, calm down. Don't act like it's full of caffeine and sugar. It's just.
No, just
carbonated liquid.
just Coke Zero.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Okay.
shoot. Here, listen.
You,
What's up?
much like Jeff, do not really like horror movies all that
Mm-hmm. No.
much.
I
or
like
at
horror
all.
movies.
I understand. Okay, fine. You like them, but you don't. You watch them. You get scared.
Yes,
Okay, that's fine. I'm
they
just
do their
pointing.
job.
Just pointing out. I'm just. Anyway, you don't really like them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of being scared.
Would you
no.
put one on just like one night? Would you be like, I'm gonna watch? Someone said that the Amityville Horror was a good movie.
No,
Would you just put it on?
no.
If you were sitting at home one night and you were like, oh, what's this movie? Alien.
Mm-hmm. I might watch it
What's that?
because it's not really like set to be scary. It's more like science fiction. It's more like it's science. It's a spaceship. It's creatures
watch
from
it.
another planet.
Watch it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Like I've
Watch
seen
it alone at night.
I've seen bits of it. Like it is scary. Like those
Okay, let me ask
those
you a
You
question.
went from
aliens
seeing
are
it to
scary.
seeing bits
Now,
of
hang
it.
on, hang on.
Well,
Okay.
I know the alien.
Hang on,
you're
hang on.
talking about.
And this is.
That's like
I'm
saying I know
going-
Freddy Krueger.
I'm just saying that I base movies on a feeling based on what I'm seeing, not based on what they're about,
Mm-hmm.
not the content, but what I'm feeling and to some degree what they're about, but like where they're set. But let me ask you another question.
Mm-hmm.
If you watched any horror movie, let's say where there's like, let's say if you watched Child's Play.
No, hard
Just saying,
no.
let's say you watched
That's
it.
Chucky shit.
Let's just say you watched
you
it.
find that scary.
I don't even want to
Let me
talk
just
about
ask you a question.
that movie.
Let's just say you watched Child's Play. You just finished watching Child's Play, where a doll came to life
Yeah.
after some voodoo ceremony in a toy store.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. I know what it's about.
And he goes on a murderous spree, killing everybody, trying to get the body of a child because he needs to then get back into human form. But
Okay.
anyway. And then I ask you,
Thriller movie.
doesn't matter what it is. I'm just pointing out something. Then I ask you to do me a quick favor. Right when the movie's over, we're outside, we're having a cigar, and the power goes out. And I say, hey, could you just run back into the house to your bedroom and grab that thing off your table that you said you were going to lend me, and then come back outside? We're all just going to wait here. And you go alone with or without a flashlight. How comfortable are you feeling after watching Child's Play versus if we had just watched Andromeda something, insert any sci-fi?
Andromeda.
Are you gonna go and do that right? Like, how you feeling right now?
No, but also like you hit
Would you
me
feel
in the
that way?
soft spot. Like you went straight for like doll. Like you like
Okay,
for our
okay,
audience who doesn't
okay,
know,
okay. We
dolls,
can go.
clowns,
We can
anything
go.
with like
We
a
just
face.
finished watching Scream.
Yeah. Oh, same shit. No, I would be
We
terrified.
just finished
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw
Oh
Massacre.
God, no.
But I'm just saying. But if
No.
we had just finished watching
Not a chance.
Alien
Or Predator.
or Predator,
Predator is a sci-fi action movie.
would you be afraid to walk back in the house because maybe an alien might be hiding in the room somewhere?
No.
I already know what the answers to these questions are going to be. You realize this. I know you do. My point is, that's a distinguishing feature between a horror movie and something that is meant to scare you because it's like, ooh, that was startling. Something just appeared there. Like when the fucking alien busts out of the guy's belly. Or like whatever. Not horror. Not more horror. Mostly sci-fi, a little bit of horror.
And on that note,
What
Fucking-
are people saying? Some people.
Roll.
Anybody talking
So-
about?
There's a few things. People are just kind of agreeing. Like Chucky shit is scary. Brooke saying fuck that. Adrian's laughing. April's got here. I just tossed it up on the screen.
Yeah.
It'll take a couple seconds to get there, but she's saying it's kind of the same premise as The Conjuring, quite honestly. And Child's Play is fictional, but The Conjuring is based on a true story. I think that's what gets it for me the most is like the based on a true story. So like Alien isn't based on a true story, but The Conjuring, Annabelle, Insidious, like all of that shit has like true story bases.
Yeah.
For the
Basism.
basisms.
being based on a true story is like the next step to just like an influence. Like just it created this idea of a thing. These people went out in the woods and they got lost. You can base it on a true story by being like, yeah, those people
Well-
went out in the woods and then they got eaten by this monster that actually exists out in the world. Based on a true story. It's based on those people that went out there and they disappeared, except all we're changing is how they disappeared.
Blair Witch, I will not watch either. That movie
Based
scares
on
the
a
shit
true
out of me.
story.
So
is
we've
based on a
learned a
true
few
story.
things here tonight.
Is
Number
that
one, we've
Nobody
learned-
has sense but me.
Number one, we've learned that unlike Jeff, Pat and I are kind of open to the fact that maybe some movies fall into a couple of different categories. We've learned that Jeff is very adamant about,
Get the stank.
I know, he's very adamant about sci-fi crossing horror boundaries for different reasons.
okay.
No
Yes.
one's right,
I love you
no
both,
one's wrong.
but you fucking frustrate the fuck out of me.
I actually don't agree with what I just said. I just said it because I really wanted to bother Jeff.
Okay,
just
here's
one last
what I
time.
do think. I do think that there is maybe some check boxes that we need to figure out as to what makes a movie sci-fi and what makes a movie horror. We don't need to do that, like tonight
He
on
gets
the show.
right on his phone.
I think we
Sorry.
can do this. The show. I think we've had to have been on for over an hour.
Yeah. Oh no, you're coming up to an hour and 40 minutes actually.
Dear Christ.
But you've got people here with you. Everybody's pretty much hung in because the conversation has been.
I'm just
quite
saying that.
Can you
entertaining.
pull up that that question by Annalie that doesn't exist until it's on screen?
I'm just saying that.
Blair Witch is not a true story.
I
is
think-
what I imagine someone would say.
I just think that we need to decide, like we need to look up some parameters or like some check boxes of what makes a movie fit into what genre. Like what makes it a sci-fi, what makes it horror, thriller, whatever. And then C, once we decide what those check boxes are, if you're actually paying attention.
Yep.
Once we have those check boxes in place, then look at Alien, then look at Signs, then look at Amityville, then look at, you know, Resident Evil, then look at these movies that I'm talking about, and then see if they check more boxes in column sci-fi, in column thriller, in column horror. And you can't just say something generic either, which I'm not saying we're getting into tonight, but just saying being scared isn't a good descriptor of what horror is, because honestly, I've watched movies where the guy is dying of cancer and I've been afraid of cancer,
That's
but I
'cause you're
wouldn't
a
call it a
wuss.
horror. Wouldn't call it a horror.
Blair Witch is not a true story is not true because it is actually based on a purportedly true story. Let me pull this back up.
What is
It is
it?
based on the purportedly true story of 3 student filmmakers, Heather Donahue, Michael C. Williams, and Joshua Leonard, blah, 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 hike the Black Hills near Burkittsville, blah, blah, blah. Documentary about a lone local legends. It just needs to be based on an idea to be based on a true story. It's like, oh, you read a newspaper clipping about people get lost in the woods, and then
Yeah.
you create a movie around that that's based on a true
Paranormal
story.
Activity and Blair Witch, I don't think were
Sorry, I'm
ever
not yelling at you
were
anyway, by
ever.
any means.
I don't think that they were ever released as like okay, Paranormal Activity for sure, but Blair Witch, they tried to say it was found footage, and that was part of the marketing.
That's part of the marketing.
knew
but
that
it is based on a true story.
They always knew that it was no. What I'm saying is they always knew that the movies were made up. Those aren't Paranormal Activity. You're not watching actual found footage, and Blair Witch, you're not watching actual found footage. But there is a story that they believed was like that, or that somewhere existed, and someone decided to make this movie based on that truth. But those movies were never meant to be, or said they were the actual footage. Although Blair Witch did
That's not
market it the way.
That's not what that's not what based on a true story means.
No, based on
though.
a true story means that there was some type of story that fit the mold of what you just watched, that existed somewhere, and someone wrote a story based off of that.
It's you hearing the story about 3 filmmakers from college going out to this
And then you go
crazy
make a movie
forest
about
where
it.
there was this like old witch's tale
Yep.
of some kind of spirit or some shit living out there that lives in that cabin at the bottom of that stairs in that basement or whatever. And like they go out there to find it. They didn't find it.
Yeah.
So they then makes a movie based on the story that they've
Yeah.
heard.
No, I
These
get that.
people went out there and they went out looking for this thing, but they didn't find anything. But what if they did? That is based on a true story.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get that. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just love the Tito's is holding holding up your tablet. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I usually don't drink vodka because I had a bad night a long time ago.
Oh man. Well, look it. We will look into defining what movies are what based on some type of like.
It's not a matter of defining. It's just a matter of understanding and like being open-minded to the fact that sci-fi
But
can be horror based.
I never said that it couldn't be.
I swear you said it couldn't
I
be.
literally agreed with you about certain movies that you said were sci-fi horror. Alien withstanding not being one of them. But
You frustrate me.
I agreed with you on Sign. I agreed with you on Resident Evil. I agree with you on Cloverfield. In fact, I think you thought Cloverfield was not a horror movie,
It's not.
And I said that it was I consider that to be a horror sci-fi.
It's shot more in a
And I
thriller
say horror
sense, akin to
sci-fi.
Joyride. Akin to.
I consider Joyride to be. That's why it's
Are
great.
you gonna say that's a horror movie?
There's a fucking killer chasing them down.
Jesus Christ.
It's a scary movie.
Thanks for watching.
We love you guys.
It's fade. Cut to black.
Thank you very much.
We're done here.
I think we're done for the night. No,
This
for real though. I think we're
fucking
done.
guy.
We're
We
not-
gotta argue for like another hour or so.
We're
I'm
in,
just kidding.
We're
I gotta
into
go to
this
work
shit
early in
for
the
like an
morning.
hour and a half. We've kept you here.
Quickly, just thank April,
Yeah.
who's gonna make us some meatballs
Oh,
and
yeah,
wine
you're
for
all on
next
the hook.
week.
Don't think these are empty
Hey,
comments you got.
They
to make.
get their shout outs next week when we have the goods in our
Oh,
hands.
she just already wrote and said she drank tonight with us and she's gonna make meatballs next week and she's excited and she loves you guys and we have I think Anna Lee, who said she'd make some garlic bread too. So you guys are all set up for next week, thanks to your lovely viewers who, and God
Are
bless
awesome.
them, or
Our viewers
universe
are
bless them, because I don't believe in God, and I'll say that, and we'll all die in here after watching The Exorcist.
You're gonna get
But-
smoked.
in here.
But
Shall be smote.
bless all these people who've hung in with you, because they've been in here for the long run.
Seriously,
So
thank you guys for
They've
watching.
wasted their time hearing you blabber on about nonsense.
they are the
They've
true
literally sat here
heroes.
and put up with Jeff just trying to make a point about something that I mostly agreed with, but he just wasn't happy because it wasn't 100%
You're so full of shit.
what he wanted to say. I
You're
mean,
the shittest full person I've ever met.
like this is like.
So next week we're watching
Like an overflowing basin of shit.
What did we decide? We're watching a scary movie, so we're gonna be watching probably
The
Alien or
Conjuring.
something.
I
We're
think we're
watching
gonna
The
be watching
Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Conjuring?
Next week.
Okay.
Spoilers.
You'll get it.
I don't know. I just clapped
Oh,
back.
You'll get it.
So The Conjuring next week with April and Anna Lee's garlic bread and homemade meatballs. Anna Lee'd like to know cheese or no cheese.
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 Always
There-
cheese.
There you go.
Thank
They
you for
charge
asking,
you
though.
$1 for it extra because it's gooder.
It is.
If it
it's-
was free to
it's
add
much
cheese,
gooder.
then it wouldn't be gooder. It's always gooder with cheese.
Always cheese. I guess I'll be scooping these things up for you guys on the way to studio, and you'll have some wine, and you're gonna watch The Conjuring, and I'm gonna hide, not listen.
And Jeff's gonna be scared because it's a.
I'll actually be
horror
scared
movie.
watching this movie. We got to figure out a way to kill these lights and get some different lighting.
What if we just did this?
Candles.
What if we just did this like?
No, we
sort
would
of-
burn this place down. I keep saying.
Like, what if we just did this sort of thing, like the entire show, like just
Up.
like
Just
that?
faces.
Like I know you can't see it, but like. Shut up.
Blocks it out. This mic keeps clipping on and off. Your beard blocks it out.
Whatever. Blame my
Oh,
beard.
Thanksgiving Monday. Is that when we're doing it?
Oh yeah, wait a minute. It's Thanksgiving Monday.
How are you going to do that?
Should we do a show on Thanksgiving Monday?
I
It's a
mean,
weird Thanksgiving.
it would be at night. You're
Yeah.
going to work the next day. It's not like you're.
I'm not overly concerned about it because
I'd
Well-
rather do it earlier in. I don't know. I guess
We're gonna
we'll
figure
talk
it
about
out.
it.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna talk
figure it
about
out.
it. We'll figure it out.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for
Thank you
joining
for
us. Thank
joining
you very
us.
much for being here, putting up with
Pat's
our
shitty
show.
opinions.
Wow, I'm just trying to be gracious. Thanks for all the comments. And again, if you guys could do us a favor and like and share the video or the page, or just let's spread the word for us. We should have mentioned that earlier when we actually had a show left for people to see tonight.
Yeah.
But if you could help us out, invite your friends
We'd
to like the
very
page.
much appreciate
If you're
it.
enjoying what we're doing. If
If
you're
you
not
think others
actually
have enjoyed
enjoying it,
either, yeah.
and it's sort of like a guilty pleasure that you want to keep to yourself, it's totally fine too. I totally get that.
If you know anybody else who wants to pity watch as well, please toss them our link
We're open.
because we'll
to
take
everything.
it because the little number beside the live button
Mm-hmm.
makes us feel either good or bad about our lives. So
Yeah, we
if it's
definitely
around
feel-
8, we feel pretty big.
Feel worthwhile.
Reached 12 at one point. I felt like
I thought I was gonna get like a loan for a new car. I was
president
like,
of
"Man, we're
Canada.
making it. We're
Oh
going
yeah, I'm
somewhere."
buying a house tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you,
know,
guys very much, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow night at 9 o'clock for Tarot and Tunes Q&A edition with our host Anil, who you will see tomorrow, who is not here tonight, and she'll be taking your questions and seeing what the cards hold for you. So thank you guys very much, and have a great night.